the redeployment of thousands of troops from Europe to the South Pacific. And the greatest American army in history begins a slow process of demobilization. Ships laden with veterans who smashed the German armies in the West pour into East Coast ports.
And we pulled into the New York harbor across and were greeted with the fire hoses on the tug ships and so on, up the Hudson River to West Point, where was our disembarking place. So that was the first place where I ate a steak dinner and enjoyed it.
The Saratoga, veteran of 8 major carrier actions, brings South Pacific veterans into San Francisco. Navy men, too, are coming home. And what a thrill.
O'Malley was ringing the bell, and we all got down, and we started singing, guess what? God bless America.
God bless America, my home, sweet home.
All the other ships around us, and they heard it. All the other nearby, they heard it all, and they started singing with us, and all over the harbor, all over the place.
The whole community come to the depot the morning I come in from Des Moines, Iowa. And it was just difficult to put it to words, difficult. But for the whole neighborhood to show such an appreciation, oh, it was fun. It was fun.
I wasn't sure that we should be there, but I did the best job I could because my government sent me there. So that was my responsibility to them, to do the best I could. And I was very disappointed when I got back and found out that Vietnam returnees were being treated by the American population.
It really hurts my heart, to see, and remember people back during that time, how they dishonored the military uniform by spitting at soldiers. But back in the 60s and 70s, to wear the uniform, sometimes you just had to be a little careful about doing that because you could be, accosted or assaulted.
I landed in California, and my flight to Des Moines was not until the next morning. I had missed the last one out that day, and so I spent the night in the airport terminal with my duffel bag and in a corner, and so I had my uniform, my full uniform on, and again, getting back from the military, you are quote unquote sleep, but you never really sleep. And so I was there, and there was a group going by, and decided that there's a such and such military person, and probably a Vietnam, probably a baby killer, and yada yada. And so let's kick his rear and so forth. And so they proceeded over to do that, and thinking that I was asleep with my hat over my eyes and so forth. And I kind of asked them again if they were sure that they wanted to do that, and said, I don't think you'd want to do that. And so they walked away. And so no one's ever touched me, spat on me. And in Iowa, when I got back to Des Moines, there was minimal, very minimal pushback and comments and so forth. It was just usually a transition. Yeah.
Because when we left Kuwait, it had just started to get really hot again, and we couldn't wait to get out of there. We were kind of one of those first units to deploy, first units back, and it was at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. They bussed us in. It was just packed, and we'd get off the bus, and you can just hear like the cheers, and it like still gives me chills just thinking about it. Walking into that environment, you're trying to find your family. It was awesome.
Come home and you're on a whole bunch of buses and they take you to this big ceremony and you come in there and all of a sudden I'm standing, you know, at the front of a platoon in a ceremony and there's my wife and kids. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to be in this, just release me right now. And I can hear my kids crying and screaming, and it's one of those things that you can't truly grasp.
And I can remember getting off the bus and seeing my mom from like 75 yards away, just going to town on her fingernails, and she had on like this bright purple, you know, mom outfit, and it was like all of her jewelry was just bling. I remember I was like, man, that's my mom, I can see her from a distance. And I was trying to play it cool, like I was okay. My mom bypassed me and went to my section chief and grabbed him by the face, kissed him, and said thank you. There's a picture of her holding me. It was like, not exaggerating, like 5 minutes. She wouldn't let go.
Back to the American home, with welcome and well done everywhere. 12 million men and women returning to civilian life. The greatest asset, the most capable potential group of workers, businessmen, farmers, students, citizens the nation has ever known.